Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. We have yet again another piece of evidence found on the planet Mars that would indicate that not only was it once inhabited by an alien life, but that alien life may have just been more human than we think. This after this was just discovered, what looks to be a spoon. And no, I'm not joking. We have found these things before. It looks like a spoon has been discovered among the rubble on the planet Mars in a new rover image. This is the zoomed out view, and you can see, you can look around and notice that there's nothing else like this around the rover. And if it's one thing I've noticed on Mars, you get a lot of anomalous rock formations. Okay, of course you'll have people that are really dealing with cases of pareidolia rather than actual objects. However, if there is probably one shape that you never see, even in all of the anomalous rock formations that can be seen on Mars, it's that of a spoon shape. The shape of a spoon, it's just too artificial. I mean, it's too manufactured looking, and that's what we know a spoon is. It's something that is created by mankind. It's an eating utensil, and you don't see them on Mars, only rarely. And we've only found one of these spoons on Mars one other time. I'll show you that here in a second. So we've gone ahead and we're zoomed in here, and I just want you to look at this here. Look at the perfection of it. And it looks like something you'd take out of your kitchen drawer. So let's go to another one of these strange spoons that we found on Mars a year or two back. That image you're seeing here, where once again we have another spoon, or what can only be described as a spoon. Now, that's not to say that these things, whatever they are, were used for eating. Maybe they were used for something completely different, because you can see here, this one has a much longer handle to it. But still, something very similar to what you would see here on Earth. But just look at the spoon itself. Look at the mouth of the spoon here. It's perfectly curved down. I mean, it looks identical. So what I'm trying to say here is that I firmly believe, and well, the evidence has shown, and if you haven't seen the evidence or you dismiss all of the evidence that has been put forth that exhibits these artifacts that are scattered across the Martian surface, then you are simply doing yourself a disservice. You are refusing and delaying the inevitable, which is that there was definitely life on Mars. Scientists are pretty much already saying that, but without really saying it. We know that Mars was much like Earth. In fact, it was basically another Earth, a couple million to billion years ago. But something happened on the planet. Something destroyed it. And judging from the scarring on the surface of Mars, I say, as have many others, that there was definitely some type of war where high-energy weapons were used to create many of the craters and scarring that you see on the Martian surface today. Things that were created by a nuclear means, which is probably why the Martian surface is plagued with radiation, and why we have for years been finding little bits and pieces of structures, buildings, machines, and yes, even spoons scattered along the surface, much like you would see in a war-torn country, thrown across the surface. And we found other things on Mars, and I'll show you some of them here. Another very famous image that I like to talk about is the plank of wood that was found on the Martian surface not long ago. You're seeing that photograph here, and again, I'll link to these in the video description. We have this beautiful shot of the Martian surface, and out of nowhere, sticking out like a sore thumb, we see a large plank of wood just laying there on the surface by its lonesome. Here's the original image here, and first we'll go ahead and zoom in on this piece of wood that was used for who knows what. I mean, it really does make you wonder what this could have been used for, and what many of these other things that we're going to show you were a part of, or what were used for on the planet. Just showing you some close-ups here, some different versions. I mean, that's a piece of wood. I mean, there's no talking your way out of it. That is a piece of wood, and nothing's going to convince me otherwise. And NASA catches these things all the time. They just don't say anything about them. And that's all they have to do. They have to do nothing else. They just ignore it. And if these things start to gain popularity, well, they have their own little group of shills that come out and attack people like us who bring stuff like this to the attention of the community, call us conspiracy theorists, and everything else. They try to make you seem like you're a crazy person just because you think outside of this little box that they've put us in, and this way of thinking that they've all tried to indoctrinate us with. Another strange thing in this image, when we zoom back out from the log and just move up here, you see this little light in the distance here. We'll go ahead and zoom in. Now, I'm not sure what this is. It could be a part of the rover. I'm not sure, but yet again, we've seen these flashes of light in other rover photographs, just sort of sparkling in the distance. Here's one of the other famous ones that we've seen. It almost looks like a fire, a little campfire in the distance as the sun goes down. And of course, NASA can't explain it, or is refusing to explain it. You know, NASA plays dumb a lot of the time, and act like they have no idea. This is all new to them. But then in the same breath, they assure you that it's something natural and definitely not anything alien. Isn't that convenient? So we'll go to some more things found on the surface. Here's another famous and older Martian photo of what almost looks like an engine block of some sort. Some have called it a drone. Some have said it's just a piece of ancient machinery that's been rusted and beaten up over the years, possibly millions of years, eroded. I mean, you look at this thing and see how it just sticks out, again, from the rest of the rocks and the terrain here. It even has a pipe running through the middle of it. It also has the same features on the top as it does the bottom. Very strange. Here you're seeing a more enhanced image of what this object may have looked like before it was eroded to the point that it is today. And yeah, it just another manufactured object. It looks just too close to be natural. And now, speaking of strange, almost what look like machinery parts, here's another recent finding on the surface of, yet again, what looks like a possible engine or a wheel of some sort sitting in the distance. Again, it has the same set of features on each side of it. So that is a hallmark of something that's artificially made. It's a hallmark of design. Here's another anomaly that was found sticking up out of the surface. What looks like some sort of metallic object. Some said it looks like a gear shift. Others have said this is some sort of creature. Notice how metallic this thing looks. You can see the sunlight glinting off of the metal on the top of this thing. Here's another giant machine that we recently did a video on the other day that, I mean, this thing does not look like anything natural. We posted a recent video on this. This actually was featured by a ton of different people, where we have this, large cylindrical object laying sideways, sticking out with what looks like straight-edged carvings wrapping around this thing, designs. You can see in the middle here, we have this square indentation carved into the thing, and a bunch of other what look like writing or geometric designs wrapping around it. NASA is silent, as usual. And while we're on the subject of spoons, how about bowls found on Mars? Well, we found those too. Here we have what looks like a bowl or pan sticking halfway up out of the Martian dirt here. And again, look at the perfection of this artifact, how perfect it is. If it were created by Mother Nature, I'd have to say that Mother Nature is a genius bowl designer, because this looks like something in my kitchen. Here we have a plate broken in half, albeit still. You can see this perfect curvature and indentation wrapping around the inside of it, just like you would see in your own kitchen. Broken plate on Mars. Looks that way to me. So yeah, back to this spoon here. There's, my main point here is that we have found these things on Mars. We're going to continue finding them. And the evidence is suggesting that not only was Mars inhabited, as I said at the beginning of the video, but there's a very good chance that humans either originally lived and came from Mars, or at least lived on Mars at one point. And the artifacts that we're finding would seem to justify those claims. but I will leave it up to you guys. Let me know what you think. I think this is an amazing new finding. Now, a couple other things to talk about before we end today's video. We have some brand new photos from the latest installment of the Alien franchise, and we have some new photos here that were shared on their official Twitter account, showing everything we love to see in these Alien films, whether it be blood, weapons, or a generally eerie, dark atmosphere. So indeed, the future does look dark and violent in this latest Alien film, which is a sci-fi horror flick directed by Ridley Scott, and a man who takes the genre to a whole nother level. He has already revealed that the film's rating will be rated R, so these photographs you're seeing here are likely only the tip of the iceberg. And you know what, I just love films like this. Prometheus, that's another film I loved where we have a group of people either stranded on a ship or an uncharted planet like we do here, dealing or discovering or in some cases fighting with other alien beings. And I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. Of course I would love this type of stuff. I mean, look at the videos that I make. But it really gives you an idea of things that will truly happen in the future. We will venture out into outer space at some point in the very near future. And we will have humans stepping foot on alien planets that we never before believed were reachable. And by the way, this film is actually an offshoot of the Prometheus expedition and film. So, looks awesome to me. Definitely going to see it when it comes out. And just to end this video on a good note, I have got a special Christmas gift for all of you guys. We have a new microphone that we're going to be giving away within the next week or so. What you're looking at here is one of the best microphones that you can buy online and use for audio or voice narration. This is called the Rode NT USB mic, and as I said, it's at the top of pretty much every list of the best USB mics that you look up online. Rode pretty much kills the competition. The mic retails for between $150 and $200, and it gives you those crystal clear vocals. It's plug and play, it comes with its own pop filter and mic stand. I'm going to be giving it away within the next week. So if you would like to enter for the drawing, simply send me an email to secureteammike@gmail.com, and in the subject line, simply write microphone drawing, and in the body of the email, leave me your name, as well as a short description of what you will be using the microphone for. This way, when I do have the drawing, I'll have a little info to tell my viewers once I announce the winner. Now, if you have already emailed me for the previous microphone drawing a couple months ago, then there is no need to email me again. So if you've already entered for the last drawing, then you are good to go. I will be drawing from the same pool of emails that I did before. We've only got 3 days until Christmas. We are already receiving reports of an unidentified flying fat man moving through the sky, seen blasting from the North Pole. Of course, these are unconfirmed reports, but I will be following them and updating you on what we find very, very soon. So be sure to stick around and subscribe. Otherwise, you just may get a lump of coal in your stocking this year. So I'll see you guys back here in a bit, and stay safe.